I'm Paul Pearson of StarTime. Did you know that back in the 9th century, Rainier Avenue Radio was the host of the first annual Gregorian chant-off? Man, that was tight. Well, times have changed and so have we. Now you can hear all the great Rainier Avenue Radio shows on our mobile app for Android and iPhone. It's completely free on the Google Play Store and the iPhone App Store. The Rainier Avenue Radio app.
Hello, listener. What's important to you about what's going on in your community? Are you interested? Are you concerned? In any case, I invite you to tune into my show, Seattle Here and Now, on Rainier Avenue Radio.org. Why? I will be covering a wide range of topics important to you and impacting the community. Each show will have a special guest or guests to share with you information on a variety of subjects that are happening here and now in Seattle. I promise I will work hard to make my show informative, interesting, and entertaining. Be sure to listen to Seattle Here and Now on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Oh, my man.
You know, everybody goes through a storm sometimes.
God is, and Rainier Avenue Radio.world have a new address. We're now located at 4916 Rainier Avenue South in Columbia City, 98118. God is still loving on your community, being a blessing and meeting the needs of the people. Don't miss any of our amazing shows. Your favorite community radio station. Tune in and come on down and get some free food and let us continue to love on you. Don't forget to tune in. See you soon for free food and free entertainment with God Is and Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of StarTime, and this is my real voice. Honest, you're hearing it on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Should have told her you were sorry.
This is Brenda Charles Edwards, host of Seniors Matter. Join me every week to get information on activities and issues that impact the lives of older adults and their families. That's Seniors Matter every week on Rainier Avenue Radio.
This is Paul Pearson, host of StarTime. And when I'm not explaining to my intern exactly what R&B is, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Sa Washington, karamihan ay sang-ayon na ang ating kalsada ay ligtas pag isinangtabi ang telepono. Pero hindi ito madali. Ibahagi ang mensaheng ito at maging halimbawa. Bago umalis, ilagay ang telepono sa glove box. Iset sa Do Not Disturb. Hikayatin ng mga kaibigan at pamilya na gawin din ito. Dahil pag ginawa ang parte natin, ang kalsada ay ligtas para sa lahat. Sabay tayong makakarating doon. Isang mensahe mula sa Washington Traffic Safety Commission.
What's on your heart? Are you exhausted at the lack of progress for people of color in business, politics, and life? This is Cindy Bright, the host of Heartbeat Radio. Each week, we explore this heart condition of the country that is affecting you and me. We have real conversations about what's necessary for change. It's time to change this dialogue. Will you join this Heartbeat weekly, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio?
Would you like to see when your favorite Rainier Avenue Radio show comes on? Check out our show schedule, updated weekly at rainieravenue.radio.world.
All of us have struggled through the COVID-19 pandemic, and many of our communities have been particularly hard hit. Some things definitely need to change, but a few things should stay the same, like protecting your child from serious diseases you can prevent now. Preventable diseases like measles, mumps, and whooping cough. Is camp, childcare, or in-person school on your family's agenda? Give your child a healthy and safe summer and school year by making sure they're up to date on vaccinations and well child visits. You have the power to protect. Call your healthcare provider to find out what vaccinations your child is due for and make an appointment today. If you need help finding a provider, visit parenthelp123.org or call the Help Me Grow Washington hotline at 1-800-322-2588. An interpretation is available.
Different rules apply when it gets this late. You know what I mean? It's like
after hours.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
Hello, I'm an unpaid spokesman for DJ Sotovaci. I'd like to invite you to listen to his free-form music show. It's popular music the way it was never intended to be heard. Whatever gets you through the night, late nights, here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Whatever gets you through the night.
Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update.
Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station.
This is Cindy Bright, the host of
Dito
Heartbeat
sa
Radio.
Seattle, ako po si Rolly Pollington.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star
This
Time.
is Paul Schneider today on the 73rd edition.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to
Rainier
Travelers
Avenue
Guide to
Radio.
Venus and Mars with Princess Robin.
Godmothers. Yes, no big
Dirty
deal.
Harry.
And I am
Your home for information about the impact of the
And
coronavirus.
amongst many things that's difficult about this virus is that it prevents
it's been
people from
devastating.
gathering. So
They're really heartbreaking stories of people who have.
There isn't anyone that isn't impacted.
shutting our schools down, including all athletic programs.
Your first-hand accounts.
We got here just to check, and I found out that I was positive.
A lot of people who know me, I'm still the first person they know.
But it was almost like you were patient zero for South Seattle. Your stories of community coming together.
Partner very heavily with Tacoma Urban League, who is doing some amazing.
Welcome to Rainier Avenue of Radio and our broadcast of Friday night under the lights, Metro League High School football. It's me, Tony B. I will be taking care of your play-by-play responsibilities tonight. And joining me, the coach, Jay Yeezy, John Yasutaki.
Hey, Tony. Nothing's easy. That's why they call me Jay Easy.
Oh, John, man, we have a beautiful day. I think it's a beautiful football day.
Oh,
yeah. Skies, a few clouds around, but about 70 degrees right now?
Very much so. And look at those shiny helmets that the Lincoln Lynx are wearing. They're eye-catching, aren't they?
They are. They are.
They almost blind you.
Kind of metallic.
Metallic, yes.
Yeah.
A metallic treatment on their helmets.
And a full complement of cheer squad down there too.
Oh, and the band.
And the band. Yes. Man, Lincoln brought it. Franklin here across the other side of the field as well. The Franklin High School Quakers 1-2 this year. Lincoln Lynx 2-1. John. Yeah. I know we're just seeing teams, but again, Franklin, not as many players as they'd like to have, but again, this program is growing. Yeah. Lincoln growing really well now that they've been through 4 years. What are your thoughts on both these teams about what we should look for?
Well, yeah, Franklin is, kind of undermanned. They don't have a full complement. They're kind of like Rainier Beach, short on players, but we're going to have the flag ceremony. But Lincoln is coming along. They were really making a move last year. They did a pretty good job on Nathan Hale from a couple of weeks ago. So they can score points.
Last Friday, John, we were at Lumen Field.
Yes. Until Saturday. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I think that we are about to do the flag ceremony. I haven't heard an official announcement yet. But
I think he's calling it.
I think this is it.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. The national anthem played by the Lincoln Lynx Band. I think the coin toss has already happened.
Yep.
I wasn't checking, John. Do you know who's receiving, who's kicking off?
I didn't see it. I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like Franklin looks like they're going to be, I think they're going to be kicking off.
I'll tell you what, though, John, that Franklin squad, they may not have any players, but the ones they do have look pumped up and excited for this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you can't help but get excited. This is fall football. The weather's beautiful. We're coming together, enjoying our interactions, as they say.
Here at Leon H. Brigham Field, a.k.a. Memorial Stadium, in the shadow of the Space Needle.
Right. Yep. Franklin is kicking off, and they'll be defending as you look at the field on your left. They'll be defending the east goal. Lincoln will be coming from the right, and that is the west goal.
All right.
So,
I've always wanted to say that, east to west.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here today.
Well,
I guess every week it's east to west.
Yes, as opposed to north and south.
Franklin will be kicking the ball off. We do have rosters. I don't have positions on some of these rosters, parents, just so that you know, as the game goes on, we'll be trying to identify some of the players and making sure that you hear your babies announced on the air.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big deal, too, John, wouldn't you say? Games like this where folks have the opportunity to
hear their kid's name or watch them on this live streaming apparatus we got out here called cameras, All
right, there's the kick.
It's going to be short.
Be picked up, caught at about the 18-yard line, out to about the 25. There's the hole, and on the right side, it's open, out to the 50. Still running on his feet. All the way down to the 37-yard line, John.
Yep.
What a way for Lincoln to start this game.
Well, they didn't cover, when you cover kickoffs, you stay in your lanes. But they didn't stay in their lane. They had an alley, let that guy run right up the field on the right-hand side. You're taught to stay in your lane, and they didn't. So that's what happens. Just like driving on the freeway, stay in your lane.
And he had a wall of blockers that allowed him to cross the freeway to the other side from left to right.
Exactly.
And follow that lane. So Lincoln will start off. Actually, they placed that at the 39-yard line.
Plus side of the 50. Anything on the other side of the 50 is a plus.
And looking for the Lincoln quarterback lined up in the shotgun. John, can you see the number?
I can't see it. It's double right. Oh, offside. Looked like almost. Oh,
nothing called. Play to the right side, picked up by Franklin and shut down after about a 6-yard gain. The cornerback was right there, John.
Yeah, they were on a double wide on the right and one single on the left with two backs in the backfield. So it's a balanced formation. So they're probably going to run a little bit and they're going to probably pass a little bit. So it looked like they were throwing passes on the warm-up. So they know how to run a passing game.
And they don't give him all of the forward progress, John, that I thought that he got. They make that about a 5.5-yard pickup.
So we got double on the left and one on the right, split back, one back in the backfield. Motion right.
Again in the shotgun. Handoff to the left side, just off the left tackle.
Yep. He's still going.
Still on their feet. And again, now Franklin surrounds the ball and pulls them back. It looks like they're going to give him forward progress to about the 30, John, and that's going to make it third and about one.
One, yes. He kept his feet moving. Like you're taught. Keep your feet moving. Guys, stay on your block until the whistle blows. Okay, now they got a trips right now. They got 3 receivers right, one set in the backfield and one split on the left.
3rd and 1 in the shotgun. Ball's handed out. Missed the handoff. Quarterback's there by himself now. Runs the ball instead and looks like he's got enough to pick up the first down on a broken play. Johnny turned around in the backfield and nobody was home.
He went left and everyone went right. Or everyone went right, left and then he went right or something. It was a totally missed handoff. Maybe that was part of their fake. I don't know. It looked double right, one left. One back in the backfield.
And the ball snapped again off the
wide
left tackle
open.
on the left
Nobody's
side. He's
there.
got a lane and a nice saving tackle by number 3 from Franklin, and that was Carmonte Shashir Banks, and he may have saved the touchdown.
He saved the touchdown. There was nobody else. There was no run support there either. I mean, that was wide open. Like my refrigerator.
Now it'll be second down to play handoff
Cut
again
back.
inside,
It's a
cuts
cut
back.
Yep.
And Franklin again,
No.
once they rally to the ball, they do a good job, but it looks like another first down for Lincoln.
Yeah, nothing fancy, just handoff, straight handoff. And the back is looking at the hole, so, he's climbing in that hole,
So
making the cut.
First to 10 now from the 18, Lincoln
Double,
on the move.
Hole.
Number 34 again.
Oh, nice recovery. Number 58.
So 58 for Franklin. Josh Dunn on the tackle, and number 34, Connor Goulet, 5'10", 177-pound senior running back.
Double right.
And
One
also
left.
Billy Versaw is a quarterback for Lincoln.
We got timeout. Timeout, Franklin.
It's all right, Billy Versaw, 6'1", 194-pound senior from Lincoln at QB. Connor Goulet, 5'10", 177 pounds at running back, senior again for Lincoln. And we've already heard a couple of players, John. You named Josh Dunn, and then also Carmonte Shashiri Banks in on a couple tackles for Franklin.
Say that fast 3 times. Shashiri. Carmonte.
Fast 3 times. Fast 3 times. Fast
No, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, professional broadcasters look for words that would tongue-tie them. I'm not saying we're not professional. I'm just saying whatever.
So timeout, second down and about 8 to go, John, from the 15-yard line of Franklin. 9:18 left to go here in the first quarter.
Franklin's got just 3 up. Oh, bad snap.
Ball handed off inside.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in there on the tackle. It looks like number 69 for Franklin. That's Rafiano Amaluago.
They're running a 3-5.
Quick again, and a big hit in there by Franklin. Oh, boy.
It's at number 58 again.
Number 58 for Franklin. Josh John wraps him up and stops him short. That's going to bring a 4th down. John.
Yeah.
Looked like Big Al Woods there for the Seahawks in the middle. Nothing up the middle on that play for Franklin.
It looked like it was open, but he closed it pretty good, Josh.
And they will not go for the field goal. They will eschew the field goal. And sets up, goes back to pass, can't find anybody, looks in the lane, caught for a touchdown. No, just short of a touchdown.
At the 1 foot line.
Billy Versaw with the nice pass there, John, fitted in a window.
Well, defensive backs didn't react to that pass. I mean, he let them have an alley straight up into the, like a flare.
Versaw hands off inside, and another big play again, this time by Carmonte Shashiri Banks.
Yeah, they're reacting. Franklin has only got 3 on the front. They got a 3-5 setup. Three down linemen and 5 backers.
Lose a couple yards now. That'll be second and about 3. Handoff again to the right side. Up and again, a big hit by Franklin.
A touchdown.
Looks like he gets in there, though, and I think that was Goulet, but we're going to find out for sure. Either way, that's a touchdown. 6 points up on the board. With 7:53 here to go in the first quarter for Lincoln.
Let me say this. That was the prime example of you make the hit, but you got to wrap him up. They made the hit, but they didn't wrap him up, and he bounced into the end zone. So.
Joining us here, of course, is Daniel Bellis producing, getting set up for the extra point now. Left-footed kicker. You don't see a lot of those.
Nope.
John?
Nope.
Snaps a little high, but does a good job putting it down and straight
got it in.
Through the uprights, which again are a little wider than the uprights that we had last week at Lumen Field.
Right, those were pro NFL.
And so with 7:53 here to go in the first quarter, Lincoln, after a nice kickoff return to get into the Franklin side of the field, combination of passes and running, John, like you said, and end up putting the ball in the goal line.
Yeah, they were, I guess, kind of tipping their hand out warm up. They were a pretty balanced attack, run and pass. Everybody looks for balance, balance in your life, balance in your checking account, balance on the football field, balance. We want balance.
Lincoln kicking off now to Franklin. Rainier Avenue Radio .world live Friday night under the lights. Well, the lights aren't on yet, but they will be by the time we're done, John.
Yep. It will be sufficiently dark. It's getting darker earlier because fall is coming.
Kickoff
Fall
last
is here. Nice
pass
kick.
mark. That's all it is almost to the goal line.
Yeah.
It is to the goal line. He's going to run it out, dancing around in the backfield, still on his feet, up to about the 18-19, swarmed by Lincoln defenders there.
Actually, that was a pretty good return considering he took it so deep into the near the end zone, near the goal line.
So Franklin will take over now on offense with the ball on their own 18-yard line. John, I can't attest to the accuracy of my math, but I think that's 82 yards to go.
Yep, very good. And you went to Franklin. That's
Yeah,
good.
I did.
That's wonderful.
Wait a minute. I don't know if that was a compliment or not.
Oh, well. We'll see. Okay. They got a double set. Franklin's got double left, one right on the flanker tail.
And the quarterback keeper pitches it out on the left side to number 6. Pickup of about 6-7 yards on the outside. John, I don't have a number 6 on my roster.
No, there isn't.
So pick up about 5, we'll say. They'll give him a pick up about 5 there, and we'll try and
figure out who this,
I do have like 8 number 99s on the roster, though. So
yeah,
see how that works.
Yeah, I saw how that. So, yep. Excuse me. Oh, nice cut.
Nice handoff inside.
Yeah.
That's going to be a first down for Franklin. So
Yep.
Franklin keeps the ball on the ground. And that looked like a James Scott Jr. senior.
This straight handoff, direct handoff, off tackle slant.
And is that QB number 4, Mal Vivo?
Yeah, Mal Okay.
Mal Vival.
Yeah. Okay. Lincoln's on a 3-5. 1, 2, 3. Yep. They're running a 3-man front.
Vival, the senior for Franklin.
3 down linebackers. They got 5 in the back, and they got 2 deep, 1 in the middle. So that's cover 1.
Vival, and there's a timeout for Franklin. It looked like there was a little bit of unsurety. Is that a word?
Unsurety or confusion.
Confusion.
Not the philosopher.
Well, John asked for some big words, and I was trying to make one up.
Well, the thing is, they weren't set, and that's the problem. I think they wanted I think they may have wanted a different formation. Lincoln's just running to 3-5, so they're running 3-5, which means they've got 3 down linemen, 5 backwards, and some of those could be cornerback walking up, but you got 1 deep right in the middle of the field, so that's cover 1. That's what it looks like.
Vival again sets up in the shotgun for Franklin. Ball on the just short of the 30-yard line on the Franklin side of the field. After a series of runs that gave him a first down, Vival looks to the left, passes complete to number 6. And number 6 picks up about 3-4 yards. John, it looks like we're looking in the mirror of the Lincoln offense.
Yeah,
here.
Short pass, run the ball, short pass, run the ball. Run the ball, short pass, nothing deep. Everything seems to be, 5 to 6 yards downfield. And that was actually a swing pass. So part of it was in the backfield as the back was circling out.
Franklin Vival, again at the quarterback, lines up at the Franklin 32.5-yard line, a pickup of about 4 on the play. Vival gets a high snap, handles it, hands it off inside, got some room. Again, right up the gut, John.
Straight ahead. Nothing fancy, straight handoff.
And that's going to be enough for a first down, to pick up of about 7 yards and maybe 8, as Franklin now moves the ball to their own 42.
Yeah, it looks like the same. We're looking like the same drive that Lincoln did on that scoring drive. Again, nothing fancy, straight ahead, direct handoff. And they're basically saying, stop us, you know. Lincoln still stays in that 3-man front defense. They got 5 backers coming up. They got 1 deep.
Five-Val gets the snap, hands off to number 5 inside.
Nice
Again, a couple of nice moves. We got a flag down, but James Scott Jr. picked up about 6 on the yard. We'll see if that stands.
Possibly a hold.
And we've got a face mask call on Lincoln, John. So that's going to give Franklin another probably 15 yards on this, depending on.
They'll be on the plus side of the 50. So they're in Lincoln territory right now.
And that's going to take it all. It looks like he's going to keep walking. And that's going to take it, John, all the way down to the 37-yard line now of the Lincoln Leagues. Franklin with the ball, moving the ball on the ground, John.
Yeah, and again, I think they're going to have to change up a little bit. They're going to have to bring more guys up on that line of scrimmage because you step back and it's almost like they're underneath. You got 3-5 and 1 deep.
Well, Franklin taking advantage of that, John, and they're moving that first wave of linemen back. So they're picking up 2 yards before they even get touched. Five-Val back to pass, looks downfield, has got a player down there. And there's going to be a little tussling, but no flag was called. Probably should have kept running.
Yeah. He kind of gave up. He kind of laid down on that.
And we've got a player down on the field now for Franklin.
I didn't see what happened on that. I think he might have had his leg cut underneath him, which is, as an offensive lineman, that's the last thing you want to happen. Because all the legs get tangled up on the line of scrimmage. You don't want to have anybody fall on your leg, or you don't want to have to fall backwards on your leg or hyperextend your leg. That's always the case. Yep, I think they're looking at his knee.
Okay, I think that during this break, John, we'll go to our first update. Mr. Daniel Bellis. We do see the player walking off the field, though, so that's good news.
That's good. He's limping, but he's walking.
There's definitely one game going on currently. We don't have a score for Nathan Hale in Cleveland in a battle of 2 winless teams trying to get their first win. Also, West Seattle is going to be hosting Chief Self here at 7:30. Lakeside hosting Ingram at tomorrow at 3 p.m. and there. And back to play.
And Franklin lining up on the 37-yard line. That pass was incomplete as Vival
double left
went for it all.
Motion.
There's movement in the backfield, nothing called. And again, number 6 up the middle. He's got room, pushing players. And again, John, that offensive line of the Franklin Quakers is just pushing Lincoln's those first 3 back off the ball.
You only got 3 down defensive linemen. You're almost asking for double teams all across the front. And when that happens, you're knocking guys off the line of scrimmage. You give backs a room to run. I mean, that's just natural.
And so Franklin is responding to that Lincoln touchdown, John, by basically punching them back in the mouth.
Yep, exactly. And they're doing it just basic football.
Vival inside handoff to number 1, still on his feet.
That's about 5 yards, right?
Going to be a pickup of about 4 or 5 there.
Right.
Forward progress, and Franklin's just grinding their way down the field. That's going to be at about the 20-yard line, second and about 5.5 to go for the Franklin Quakers.
I don't want to coach, but you got.
Well, coach, you're a coach.
Yes, I know, but you got to come out of that D. That's not stopping the run. You got to put more bodies on the line of scrimmage. You got to put more bodies on the line of scrimmage. Most guys will go 4, or I go 5. I use the 50 base principle. 5 down linemen, defensive down linemen.
5 out back again. Looks to that same swing pass on the left side. It's complete. That's going to be a first down, John. That's almost in the end zone. That's down to about the 1 yard line for Franklin. And so Franklin answers the Lincoln drive with a very similar drive of their own.
Majority of the plays are runs. The run sets up the pass. That has not changed since Newt Rockney. The run sets up the pass. That's a fact.
So Franklin now first and goal from the 1 yard line of Lincoln. They've been successful running the ball. You think any chance they might throw this?
Well, like I think, I doubt very seriously if they throw a pass here. Nope, and they didn't.
And handed inside, but Lincoln, there, I don't see the officials saying touchdown yet.
Yeah, well, nobody touched that guy. He jumps over a defender.
I'm still not seeing the signal for a touchdown. Now, I see that they've added 6 points to Lincoln to make it 13-0. That's incorrect.
Yep. No, they're setting up for an extra point.
Yeah, they must have go ahead and given them a touchdown. They're setting up for the extra point now, but they put the points on the board for Lincoln.
Well, I think that can be corrected.
So it looks like Franklin is going to go for 2.
Spread, well, then
5 out with the ball, hands off inside the number 6, cuts it back inside, leaves the player with broken ankles and picks up the 2-point conversion. Now, that should make it 8-7 Franklin, John, and right away both offenses come out and
score at will.
This looks like, John, what we're going to have today.
Yeah. Score at will. We know Lincoln can put points on the board. They put 35 on Hale from a couple weeks ago, so they can score. But it's a matter of who's going to stop who. And I think that's pretty much a reflection of the Metro League as a whole. There's a lot of points been scored in the Metro League. You got significant scoring: 56, Garfield, 47, 30. All these. Different high schools are scoring points. Many of them are running these spread offenses. This is more traditional. You're running a 1-back set, 2-back set. Nothing super exotic or sophisticated, but it's again, you can run any kind of formation you want as long as there's execution. Execution is the most important aspect.
How important is it for John for Franklin to have answered that opening Lincoln drive with the drive of their own?
Very important. Very important. These are young people. Young people play on emotion. Like Don James said, I must be crazy and make my living based on the emotions of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds.
And there's the kick from Franklin from the left hash mark.
It's
comes
short,
at about
though.
the 15. Again,
There's
a
a
little
hole.
room hole on the coverage. And Lincoln with the ball. This time Franklin does stop him at about the 40, but again about a 25-yard pickup on that kickoff return.
Short kick. Got it back near the 40. Pretty good field position.
And I do see a flag on the field.
I wonder if it's offside. No, it isn't offside.
Our own Masvita Marare doing the announcing.
Unsportsmanlike against Franklin. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, that's going to
move the ball across midfield.
Change that whole field position thing.
Yep. It's going to move it across midfield. And quote, the closer you get towards the end zone, the percentage says you're going to score. That's pretty standard.
So Lincoln will once again be starting inside the Franklin side of the field.
Plus side.
At the 44-yard line of Franklin for their second drive.
Yeah. Plus side of the 50.
Versa This time under the back again in the shotgun. Versailles looking downfield, has a player down there, hit right away, but again, that's going to be a pickup of about 4 or 5 yards.
Good pass.
And John, this feels like deja vu all over again.
Yeah, they're moving the ball again. I mean, it's almost like that first drive again. They're running double wide on the right, single on the left. One back set.
Marshall lengthened to this side. Versailles behind the quarterback.
Got motion across.
Hands off inside,
Nice
and nothing really going there for Connor Goulet as Franklin Stout.
Yeah, they reacted pretty good. It looked like he had an opening when he made that cut, and it closed pretty quick.
And again, Franklin, John, maybe not a whole lot of players like Rainier Beach, but the players that they do have, they're holding their own. And I wonder, John, if later in the game, the lack of rest from some of these players is going to begin to take a toll on them.
We'll see. I mean, it's not a super hot day, and this is triple left receivers.
Versailles
Nice
hands
hole.
the ball off inside.
Oh.
Again, stopped short of the first down, pickup of about 3 yards. That's going to make it 4th and about 2.5 to go. And Goulet stops short. 4th and looks like about 3, John, as they didn't give him the forward progress.
No, they didn't. Actually, I think it looked like he gained more yardage than that. There's about a minute and a half left or so. Under 2 minutes for the quarter.
All right, trips to the left side. Versailles in the shotgun, one back behind him. Versailles looks downfield, has the receiver down there. Pass was a little behind him and dropped, and the good coverage there from the Franklin player. Yeah. And I believe that was number 16, Tyrone Jones. Tyrone Jones, only a freshman out there on the island by himself.
He had him. And just pass was short and low. So,
So that particular series for Lincoln ends up basically, John, 4 and out.
Yep. Well, and they were moving the ball. I mean, but based on strategy, I would have kicked it, put Franklin farther in the hole. If they're going to drive, make them drive 80, 90 yards instead of 60.
And so Franklin will come out with the ball on their own 36 again.
Yep.
Not bad field position for this second series by Franklin Quakers.
That's why you punt. The whole concept is scientific. Field position. You change it.
Vival again, high snap, hands the ball off inside. There's some room, breaks to the outside at the 50, the 40, number 5 again, all the way down to the 20. He cuts back inside again. He's going to end all the way for the score. John, one play, and Franklin, after creating a 4-and-out situation on defense, comes back, and James Scott Jr.
makes it a run.
65, 64 yards from scrimmage. Wow.
Now, let me say again, had you punted the ball, you would have put them inside the 20. That made this run from the 36 shorten field. You can't do that. You got to change field position. It's just simple mathematics.
And John, I'm sure you hear it on this side, just kind of a murmur from these Lincoln fans.
Yeah.
Who've got to be surprised. A nice turnout by the Lincoln fan base. Yeah. And I know they got to be saying, wow, right about now.
Yeah, this seems like it's going to be a pretty evenly matched contest.
Vival with the ball is again. Franklin goes for 2 and might have lost the ball. So I haven't seen any indication whether that was 2 points was successful or not.
No,
and I think they did lose the ball.
Yeah, he lost the ball. Yeah,
there it is. Well, that'll leave it. They did get the 2-point conversion the other time. So right now we have a 14-7 score. Franklin on top with 52 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Jay Yeezy?
Yeah. Well, like I said, these look like they're going to be pretty evenly matched teams. They both move the ball. Again, I question going for the first down on 4th down I would have kicked the ball, put Franklin farther in the hole. And, who knows? The kid may have stepped off on an 80 or 90-yard run, but at least you're putting him farther back, and that's what I would have done. But starting at the 36 is excellent field position on the exchange between Lincoln and Franklin on that fourth down.
64 yards for the touchdown.
Yep.
Nice cut back at the end there where it looked like they had the angle on him, and he cut back inside.
Made the cut back. Just think if he had 10 or 20 more yards to go, they might have caught him.
They might have caught him.
I'm just saying, again, kick the ball.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio's broadcast of Metro League High School football. Friday night under the lights. It's me, Tony B, on your play-by-play, and the coach, Jay Yeezy, John Yasutaki, doing your commentary and analysis.
And opinions.
Well, John, right now you've got some opinions about what Lincoln is doing on the field as we got a squib kick.
Yep.
Bounces on the ground. They're trying to do something, loses the ball. Maybe that was the answer. Finally goes back and pick it up at about the 8. Stopped down there, swarmed over by Franklin. And, John, it looks like old momentum has swung in the way of Franklin. And I like that squib kick. A couple of big returns by Lincoln, and this time they put the ball on the ground.
Yep. Harder to feel, squib kick. And but, here we go. Lincoln, you've got to move the ball. You can't give it up on a short field. So you got to get at least a couple first downs, get that ball out of the hole. Anything inside your own 20 is negative.
So, again, Versal hands the ball off inside. Again, another short pickup out to the 21, maybe the 22.
But it's plus yardage.
It's 15,
Yep.
16.
Plus yardage.
To pick up a 4, that'll make it 2nd and 6. Another. This time he doesn't hand the ball off. Looks downfield, gets the ball complete,
short pass.
and that's going to be a first down for Versailles. And again, Johnny doing what you said, moving the ball, move the chains.
You move the chains. Get that ball upfield.
I believe that was Newt Hart, 6'2", 170-pound, 8-pound running back. And quickly again.
Oh, he fell. Oh, he tripped.
Into the offense goes Lincoln. And we'll see where they mark this, as he did trip up and fall.
Yeah.
And I guess the rule is when you're down, your knees down, but it doesn't look like they are going to catch him for that. They're going to say, well, he crawled a couple of yards. No, they're backing it up now. Oh, maybe not.
No, where his knee touches where he was down. And that.
So I think what it is, John, is that we're at the end of the quarter.
Yep, that's it.
So we're going to go to a commercial break here at the end of the quarter. Franklin 14, Lincoln 7.
Well, not exactly a commercial break, maybe a score update, but interesting development here. This might be Franklin's most biggest offensive performance of the season. Their most highest scored game was last week when they put 23 on Chief Self. And the other two games, they scored 7 and 6. So that's about 10 points per game. That's about that's about 10 points per game so far, and they already have 14. So this has definitely been one of Franklin's biggest performances. In the Mountain, a couple of games big happening. Our own Juan Cotto is at the O'Day and Prep game. He'll be giving us some score updates on that one, letting you know about the score when that starts at 7. And Garfield, which just moved up to number 1, will be at Bishop Blanchette at 7 as well.
Nice handoff. All right, there's the handoff inside.
Oh, nice.
So they did give a first down on that last play, met at the line, and they should give it forward progress to about the 28, 29 yard line.
About 4 yards on it. These are just straight dives, just straight handoffs, nothing fancy, no counter moves, nothing fakes in the backfield. It's just straight handoff. So it's just base blocking.
And no, John, we're going to have a penalty.
Oh, I think they're calling it holding.
And so that's going to be 10 yards from the original line of scrimmage.
Right.
So instead of 2nd and 5, John, now you're looking at 2nd and about 20 now. Deep in your territory here back at the 14, you were talking about the balance. Does this change what you're going to do on offense?
Well, they're using short passes, so nothing, really bad on that. But you got to get the ball. Basically, you got to move the ball. You got to get the ball out of your own back towards your own end zone.
Versal looks downfield, has the man, runs to the right side. Those are tipped away, intercepted by number 17 of Franklin. And he's going to be pulled down. Might lose the ball, but they're going to call that. There's going to be a flag on the play as well.
Yep.
So number 17 for Franklin, Ramon Jones, after the pass was tipped.
And deflected.
Picked it off. And Franklin, John, on the move.
Yes. Now, again, that was a good pass. That pass was just a little bit, as they say, underthrown. Had he put a little bit more zip on it, it would have gotten in there. And, hey, that's what happens. They say, 3 things happen when you throw a pass. 2 of them bad, incomplete or intercepted,
So they'll be walking off 15 big yards. Wow. And the player tried to get away, and so they're giving him his forward momentum as well, John. And Franklin is going to start this particular series of plays, John, at the 20-yard line
of Lincoln. Again, momentum shifted on that touchdown run. Should have kicked the football on 4th down.
So Valvi in the backfield, hands it off inside, still on his feet, churning, burning, trying to get downfield. That's going to be a nice run inside, though, again, off that left tackle.
2-back set. Now, this is going to be, to me, if you're doing anything exotic, that's the last thing you want. You just want to play base football. Basic sets, direct handoff, nothing fancy, nothing, sophisticated.
That's a pickup of 5 for Franklin.
All right. You got 1-back set. You got actually a setback in the.
Vival, this time Vival is going to throw, being chased. Dumps the pass off to number 11. 11 shakes and bakes again. This time they're going to be wrapped up, though, at about the 5-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Yeah. And that's James Scott Jr. once again, Mr. Yasutake.
Yep, got to make a tackle. Got to wrap him up.
Well, John, you're one-on-one like that, which is what Franklin is hoping for, because they're saying if we get our guy against your guy one-on-one, we think he can win, and so far they're right.
Well, they put pressure on the defensive back, because when the quarterback started rolling out, the defensive back is saying run or pass. That's called RPO, run pass option.
First down now from the 5-yard line, inside handoff to Scott. This time he's wrapped up in the backfield. Gets away, though, and instead of having to be a negative play, he'll end up getting inside the 5, maybe to about the 4.5, just inside the 5.
They shut that down pretty good, though. He had a hole. He's coming off that off-tackle side, and, and they did a good job of shutting that one down. Didn't give him a cutback lane, too.
So Vival again in the shotgun.
And they're in the 4 now. Lincoln's gone to a 4-man front.
James Scott
4-4.
Jr. Vival keeps it this time. Vival tries to plow ahead and doesn't hand the ball off. And I think that we've got a fumble,
They say fumble. Yep.
And so Franklin does not take advantage of that opportunity.
Yep.
With the ball starting out on the 20-yard line, they get it down to 5. Vival ends up fumbling the ball. And good defense there by Lincoln, John.
No, they didn't. No, it's not a. Yep. There it is.
So Versal.
The shotgun.
With one back in the backfield. Looked like a Franklin player jumped. I don't see a flag.
Ooh.
And a big hit there at the 5 by Franklin.
They closed that down pretty quick.
And once again, John, I'm going to be saying this name a lot. Apparently, Carmonte Shasher Banks on the hard tackle inside. Lincoln quickly again to the line.
Yeah, they move quick. They don't waste a lot of time. Good pass.
Good pass from Versailles. This time complete.
Yep. Moving the ball.
Pickup of about 7.
Yep. Yeah, they're setting up quick.
To the tight end, and Lincoln lines back up again. 3rd down and about 1.5 to go. And again, Franklin not set on defense. Ball handed off inside. Looks like they're going to pick up the first down.
Yep. Good run. Straight ahead. Nothing fancy. Again, just base blocking. Hand the ball off. Nothing fancy.
8:08 here to go in the second quarter in the first half. Franklin up 14-7. Lincoln jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Moved the ball down the field after starting on the Franklin side, put it in the end zone. Franklin came back, again, an identical, methodical offensive possession. And this time the ball is completed to number 2 until number 16 puts the hit on him. Tyrone Jones hit Jack Leary and separated Jack from the ball.
Well, that was a giveaway. The quarterback looked that side the whole time from the snap on. And so he telegraphed where that ball was going to go.
And Tyrone Jones teed off on him.
And he saw it, yep. And he's quick enough to react.
So again, Lincoln, and it looks like a player jumps out. There's the flag right there. They've got a nice play set up, possibly.
Oh, good screen.
It was a screen with some blockers in front of him, John.
Yep.
Doesn't come to fruition, but
there was an offside, the neutral zone infraction on Franklin. See, that's the one thing I never did like my defensive linemen standing up, because it's too easy for them to hop, jump around and get into the neutral zone. You know, it's a little harder when you're on 4-point stance or even a defensive 3-point stance. It's too easy to step into the neutral zone if you're standing upright, 2-point stance.
So this will make it 2nd and 5 now.
They got triple receivers right, 1 left.
Versal rolls to the right side, looks downfield, fires a pass. It's over everybody's head.
And nobody was open.
I think that pass was intended for Jack Leary, but it was over his head.
Nobody was open. They were covered.
And now we end up at 3rd down again, Mr. Yasutake.
Yep.
And they did get out of that deep hole that they were in.
You got to move the ball, though. I mean, just, you got to move the ball, get field position, or don't give it up is what the point is.
Versa almost mishandles the snap, finds an open receiver.
Now,
again, the ball a little high and a little behind.
Yep.
And so that's going to bring up 4th down now for Lincoln. I anticipate, John, we'll finally see the punter.
Yes. No question on this one.
Here with 7:36 to go in the half, Franklin on top, 14-7 over Lincoln. Ball at the 21-yard line of Lincoln, and they'll be kicking to Franklin if this play is actually a punt. Nice punt. All the way back to the 44-yard line, picked up by Franklin. Fakes left, goes right, wrapped up about there after a pickup of about 7. Now a flag comes in with the ball in on the 49-yard line of Lincoln, and we'll see what this flag means.
Yeah. Could be a hold, could be a clip. I mean, blocking in the back. Could be a face mask.
So after the penalty, personal foul.
Personal foul had to be a late hit or blocking in the back. One of the, or clip.
Wilder Franklin up to the 35, up to the 40.
Yeah, that was just a straight handoff and a sweep around the right end. That was basically a sweep around the right end. Nothing fancy again.
A pickup of about 7 there.
Yep, 7 yards. He had as they say, a cadre of blockers ahead of him. Okay, they got double right.
Vival with the snap, handoff inside to James Scott, and James Scott Jr. again.
Looks like he's got a first down.
Bulls his way inside.
Pretty close. Yep, first down. See, I'm doing nothing fancy. If I throw a pass, it's a short pass, really well contained. I'm running the ball. I'm not going to do anything crazy out there. Hey, let's just keep with that game plan. We're moving the ball, nothing fancy. Same way with Lincoln. They move the ball. They can move that ball. They can throw the short pass. Don't do anything out of the ordinary.
Franklin with the ball now on their own 46. Vival with James Scott Jr. in the backfield with him. Again, a high snap. James Scott Jr. receives the handoff over the right side again, off the right tackle. And right now it's just give me the ball.
Yep. Again, nothing fancy. What's of concern is these terrible snaps. Throws the timing off no matter how much you gain on that run, and that was great. But, hey, a bad snap is always indicative of it's going to throw everything off on your timing.
About 2.5 yards on that pickup. We'll call it 8. Mm-hmm. Make it 2nd and 2. For Franklin. Vival now with 2 backs in the backfield and kind of a wing back there.
You gotta pull.
And again, this time, John, it finally happens. The ball goes over. Vival doesn't jump on it right away. Tried to pick it up, but eventually did fall on it. And that's going to be a loss, John, and that's going to be a loss of about 12 yards and take that all the way back to about the 43. I'd been saying high snap. And that time, John, it was over his head. You just mentioned it as well, getting that under control.
Yep. I mean, that is just death on the play. The basic start of a play is the snap of the center to the quarterback. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that in high school in this Metro League this year and last year.
Instead of 2nd and 2, John, now we have 3rd and about 14, almost 15.
15 yards, yep.
So what could be a passing situation, Vival looks back and wrapped up in the back, got away, gets the ball away, throws it in the hands of the receiver, which apparently is not where you should hit him.
Yeah.
But pass falls down to the ground.
4th down.
Well, John, after a couple of nice, clean drives by both teams, it seems though as now the defenses are either stalling, have adjusted, or offense isn't.
Well, I mean, you would think, the snap, again, basic fundamental part of any play is the center snap to the quarterback. That's indicative of what happens when you don't have a good snap. That's exactly what happens. So, we got a timeout. Franklin calls timeout. I don't know what they're going to be discussing. To me, there's no question you kick the ball. You punt the ball, put them in the hole as much as you can put them in the hole.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Amazing work in response.
We're doing things for small businesses. We're giving out loans for small businesses.
And so I think it's very important that we have leaders who feel
I cannot tell you we're calling 20, 30, 40 minutes.
This crisis in our community, we've been working to address it.
Rainier Avenue Radio, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
DJ Dirty John.
Karen Z with Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hey, this is Sergio Cool. Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
RainierAvenueRadio.org. We
got you covered. Local impact, global press. We broadcast. Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio World and our weekly coverage of the impact of the community. I'm relating about the series. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us again. And then again, now we are aware of the fact that we are and more folks. We are back live at Memorial Field, Leon H. Brigham Field Memorial Stadium. 4th down for Franklin and about 15 to go. It looks like a punting situation. And the kick is blocked. Yeah. Well, John, Franklin had an opportunity to put this thing a little distance between themselves, and now suddenly Lincoln with an opportunity to tie this game up after that block punt with the ball on the Franklin side of the field.
What did you notice about that snap to the punter? It was high. Again, bad snap. Okay, Lincoln comes out double wide left, one right, one back in the center, motion across.
Versal with the snap,
left to right.
rolls right. Versal looking downfield, doesn't find a man, puts it under his arm and keeps it. Versal with a nice pickup there. And again, that's going to be another pickup of about 5-6 yards.
Yep, exactly. There was no contain on that. No contain. There was nobody containing the quarterback or anybody on that side. Contain and force.
And so, John, maybe he stepped out of bounds as they're only going to give him credit for 2 yards on that play.
I noticed they backed it up.
So 2nd and 8 now from the Franklin 28.
The spread. They got double wides with left and right. One back set.
Versal gets the snap in the shotgun, looks downfield. Oh, that pass is almost intercepted again.
Yeah.
Tried to thread that needle, and Franklin's number 4, which is the quarterback, Val. Boy, if he'd got his hands on that one, there were a lot of green in front of him.
There was nothing out there to defend against if he would have got that interception. But, again, they were moving the ball on the ground. Now you change your attack to throwing the ball. Again, you haven't gained any yards. You're now down to 3rd down in about 7, closer to 8. You got to come up with something here.
Versal looks to the left side, rolls right, looking downfield, doesn't see anything. Finally gets the pass off, nothing there.
Nope.
And that'll be an incomplete pass, John. And despite the turnover in the good field position, it's going to be 4th now from the Franklin 28. John, do you kick the field goal or do you?
I didn't see if they had anybody that could kick that far, because that's talking about 30, 40 plus. If we're looking at 10, 20, 30, at least 35 yard plus. No, I didn't see anybody that could kick that far. But, you got 4 minutes plus, 4 minutes and 1 second left. To me, you don't want to punt the ball here because you put it in the end zone and it'll come back out to the 20. You're only going to gain about maybe 5 or 10 yards. But why not try to run the ball? See if you can, get some yardage and put them in the hole. Again, the point is you have the ball. You want to put them in the hole, force them to come out of the hole. And, you gotta think in those terms. Field position, always field position. What are we giving up? See, I would think here I would not even try to throw a pass. Here I would try to run it, gain some kind of yardage.
All right, Versal in the shotgun, looks downfield.
Receiver wasn't even looking.
And basically throws it into the back of the Franklin defender.
Yep, and the receiver had his back to him too. Receiver didn't even see the ball coming.
Little miscommunication on that play.
For sure. But you see, if they would have ran the ball for 4 or 5 yards, they would have put Franklin farther back. Again, you didn't want to punt it. And, like I said, run the ball. Run the ball. Who knows? He might have broke free. But at least you're controlling the ball. You're not throwing the ball out there to be picked off or incomplete or, that kind of thing. And the ball stays on the line of scrimmage right now, and they didn't gain any yardage going forward.
So Franklin will take over on downs, and they'll have the ball at their own 27-yard line.
Which isn't bad, considering they could have been put in the hole.
Vival again handles the high snap inside to James Scott Jr. Scott Jr. this time, again, a pickup of about 3-4 yards.
More than that. He's got about 5 or 6. Yeah. Well,
John, I think they have that. Yeah, they've got him for a nice pickup there. Gave him that forward momentum.
Yeah.
It's pickup of 6 yards. That's going to make it 2nd and 4.
Yep.
James Scott Jr. keeping those legs churning.
Move the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball.
Again, Franklin with that bunch formation. Those wide receivers are tight in on the line. Vival, high snap again. Vival corrals this one. Almost drops the football, but he's going to be brought down for a loss of about 2-3 yards there. And again, John, hate to just belabor this point, but
if I sound like a broken record, so be it. Bad snap, bad snap, bad snap. And we saw it all last year, too. Even the best teams were making mistakes on that. Seattle Prep, Garfield, all bad snap every time. It throws the play off. Your timing is off. He was lucky to get that ball back.
Vival now. James Scott Jr. in the backfield, looks downfield to his right, rolls back to his left. He's going to toss it up there, throws it downfield, says, who can catch this ball? And the Franklin player does, goes up and gets it. Vival had confidence in his man on the play, number 11 for Franklin, and that was Cash Sherry Banks. So the junior pulls that ball away from a couple of defenders over there, John, and he just wanted that ball more than everybody else.
Well, he was covered. He was well covered. They double covered him, and he still got the ball. Right now, again, because of that play, you got a shift in momentum. Lincoln has not. Well, when Lincoln came in, went with the 4-man front. Now there was a 3-man front.
And up inside the number 1 for Franklin. Knits and picks his way through and keeps driving those feet and might end up with about 5-6 yards out of that.
Yep. It's about a minute plus left.
And that was the senior Dave Pugh. They'll give him 3 yards on that. That'll make it 7 and about 7.
Yep.
$1:16 here to go. And the ball is on the ground. Lincoln picks it up. Lincoln at the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. And oh, what a game changer right there for Lincoln Lynx. Franklin driving the ball, looking like they're going to have their way. Again, the fumble on the quarterback. I don't know if it was a bad snap, whatever it was.
The ball was on the ground.
Ball was on the ground. Lincoln picks it up and all the way home for Lincoln. Touchdown. Lincoln Lynx.
Hold it there. Did they throw a beanbag?
And there's your official call from the official. Looks like there was a foul. And they'll certainly wave that off. And oh boy, John, how about that? Just as soon as we try to settle into what we think is the routine of the game, something happens.
Oh, that was a great play. Great hustle play.
And these Lincoln fans who were, again, there was a kind of a hushed murmur a while ago, and this is giving them something to cheer about.
Yep, this is a great way to end a half. Going into halftime with a big play like that. Big momentum shift. And the kick is good.
And the kick is good. And John,
we
are all tied up.
Tied up. Yep.
We are all tied up at 14. Wow.
What about about 20 seconds changed the tone of the game. 20 seconds shift. And the ball is live.
Well, it was a circuitous route that we took to get here, John.
Right, I know.
But we are all tied up with 1 minute and 3 to go, and Lincoln kicking the ball off to Franklin.
Yeah. Well, think of this way. Franklin was moving the ball. That would considerably be considered this way a 14-point turnaround. If Franklin would have scored, they didn't score, and Lincoln did. That's 14 points. 7 on one side, 7 on the other.
You know what? If you're thinking about going to get that halftime meal, don't do it yet with 1 minute 3 seconds left.
Right
here in this game, anything could potentially happen. And on the penalty, Lincoln will be kicking off from the Franklin 45-yard line.
Yep.
John, I'm kicking this one. I'm kicking this one on the ground, and I'm trying to make Franklin
field it
and deep in their territory.
You know, even an onside kick wouldn't be a bad idea because you're playing on the plus side of the 50.
And here's the kick. It's high into the air, and that's going to go out of the back of the end zone. So Franklin will get the ball on their own 25, I believe. And we'll start this last minute and 3 seconds of the first half with Franklin in possession. And we have had a game that was back and forth like cameo.
Yep, very good. Yeah, first and 10 from the 20 on the touchback. So now, if you're Franklin, don't do anything silly. Don't give up the ball. Run the clock out.
So you're just saying, take it to the locker room is what you're saying right now, John.
Exactly.
You're not going to take this last minute and 3 seconds and see if you can put some points on the board.
Don't even try. You're deep in your own end zone. They just had a big momentum shift. Don't give them more. Don't get more fuel for the fire.
Well, we've got a good snap this time. Ball handed off inside, still on his feet.
Right.
James Scott Jr., I believe.
Boy, he runs hard. He runs hard. You got to wrap him up.
James Scott Jr.
And that'll be a pickup of about 5. Clock is running 41 seconds now in the half. Franklin, John, doesn't seem to be any hurry. I think that they are heeding your advice, Coach Yasutaki.
Oh, yeah. Just run the clock out. Go in halftime.
Got Daniel Bellis coming up for a halftime report. And ball again handed off inside. A little bit of confusion there, but they do safely get the ball into the hands of the running back for a pickup of about almost 3-4 yards. That'll make it third and about 1.5. 6 seconds left to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that's going to do it for this first half. John, both of these teams are going to walk into the locker room having made no progress over the 0-0 start other than having put points on the board.
Yeah.
We've got a 14-14 tie. John, quickly, if you're Franklin, what are you thinking right now?
We gave up 7 points. We gave up actually 14 points. We were driving. We could have scored a touchdown. We were looking to score a touchdown, and we gave them 7. So that's 14 points today.
And if you're Lincoln, you're tied up 14-14. You came out like gangbusters.
Yep.
Had a couple 4-and-outs. But you're tied at halftime. What are you thinking? What are you telling your players?
Back to the game plan. Let's go back to what we do best. Let's go back to what got us here. Okay, that was a good play. It was a lucky play, but let's do what we do best. Our base plays, our short pass game. Balance and run a balanced attack.
It's Tony B with Coach Yeezy, the coach, John Yasutaki. We are going to be back, and right now we're going to give you to Mr. Daniel Bellis for a halftime update. and all sorts of other meanderings that come across his mind during this time. Mr. Bellis.
Yeah, and some. One thing I would like to point out is we already pointed out earlier on that Franklin already on pace to have one of their biggest offensive performances of the season in the fourth week of the year, as they are now 14 points but have been scoring 10 points per game. But another interesting thing is this Lincoln game is very indicative of what happened to them at Lakeside last week. It was a 14-13 at the end of the first half, but they dominated the second half, blanking Lakeside and winning like 30-14 or something of that nature. So Lincoln showing themselves, at least early in the season, as a second half team. So that'll be interesting to see how that transpires here in the second half against Franklin. All right, so a couple of things to look at as we pull up the Metro Sound standings. You can see that coming into this contest, the three teams at the top of Metro in the Sound, this is the second tier division, by the way, that being West Seattle, Ingram, and Lincoln coming in this week at 2-0 right there. But Franklin just behind with Chief Self at 1-1, and Nathan Hale, Cleveland, and Lakeside bringing in the cellar at 0-2. So how will this week's games affect that? Obviously, Lincoln and Franklin in a battle right now. Ingram will be at Lakeside tomorrow, that game being at 3 p.m. And Cleveland and Nathan Hale are battling currently at in action at the moment. No score being reported from the game, but one of those teams will get one of their first wins of the season. And undefeated West Seattle, who has been averaging about 3 points per game so far. Quite impressive so far, as they are going to be hosting Chief Self here at 7:30 p.m. And that is how the Sound is looking. Now, in the upper tier Mountain, of course, we'll be broadcasting a Mountain game here next at 7:45 with Ballard being against the number 8 ranked Rainier Beach Vikings in a 1-2 and 2-1 game. And if you look at the standings, how is this going to affect things? Both Beach and Ballard are sitting at 1-1 in Mountain standings there at 4th and 5th place. O'Day, Garfield, and Eastside Catholic sitting at the top at 2-0 each in the league. And rounding out the cellar, Seattle Prep, Bishop Blanchette, and Roosevelt, all at 0-2 coming into this one. So this week's games in the Mountain, Garfield is at Bishop Blanchette in a battle of, 2 versus 7. And O'Day versus Prep, a rivalry that spans year after year after year. Great games. And between those two squads, Prep, so far this season, has dropped their first 2 Metro games, those being against Garfield and the other one against Rainier Beach. So now they play another top-tier opponent in O'Day. Just it doesn't get any easier for the Seattle Prep Panthers this year as they try to rebuild from last year. Also, Eastside Catholic is going to be hosting Roosevelt. Roosevelt still looking for their first win of the season, 0-3 coming into this contest. Eastside Catholic still undefeated. But so we're more than likely we're not going to see more separation tonight. We're probably going to still see O'Day, Garfield, and Eastside Catholic probably grab wins and go to 3-0. It'll be interesting between Beach and Ballard, who moves to 2-1. The other one's going to move to 1-2 and fall about 2 games behind, which will definitely put them on the outs as far as playoffs are concerned. We're already halfway through the season, so after tonight we will be halfway. 4 games is halfway in a high school football season, and the second half will be the final 4. So moving towards those playoffs, O'Day, Garfield, Eastside Catholic, looks like by the end of the night they'll definitely be in a great standing as far as the road to the state championship. In the 3A contest yesterday, a couple of games going down, and those being, of course, third-ranked Bellevue, who has started the season 0-2 against some high-quality opponents, one from out of state, and the other one being Lake Stevens, both of those being losses. But ever since playing their KingCo League opponents, they've been blasting them, and last night they blasted Mercer Island. It was 42-0 there. With the Bellevue Wolverines now moving to 2-2 on the season, and still worthy of their top 5 ranking in 3A play. Also, yesterday in Pierce County, Spanaway Lake in the Battle of the Lakes beats Bonnie Lake in a close one, 31-23 there. Spanaway moves to 3-1 on the season. They're the 12th ranked team in 3A. And also on the east side of the state in the Greater Spokane, the Mount Spokane Wildcats, blanking Ferris, Joel O. Ferris, 44-0. There's a Mount Spokane still undefeated on the league. They're moved to 4-0 right there. Games taking place today, all kicking off at about 7 p.m., include Garfield at Bishop Blanchette, the number 1 Garfield Bulldogs, taking that one right there. O'Day is at Seattle Prep at 7, of course. Eastside Catholic hosting Roosevelt. Yelm, who has come out charging in a big way so far this season. They are tied, I think, right now for most points per game with another team. Let's see, both Yelm and Monroe have put up 49.3 points per game. Those are definitely the highest, most potent offenses so far this season. So Yelm will be at River Ridge, a league opponent right there. Top 5 right now, number 5, but a huge explosive offense so far this season. They will be one of the big teams to challenge for this year's 3A championship for sure. Kennewick is at a 4A opponent, also a league opponent there on the East Coast, on the east side, in the Mid-Columbia Conference against Kamiakin, which actually ranked number 10 in the 4A. That kicks off at 7. Again, tied for highest scoring offense, Monroe, along with Yelm. Will be hosting Linwood at 7 p.m. up there in the Westco. Rainier Beach and Ballard, of course. That one game is happening next, 7:45 p.m. or scheduled for 7:45 p.m. depending on the conclusion of this contest, where it will start. And Lincoln of Tacoma, that kicks off at 7:30. They are hosting Mount Tahoma. They try to improve on their 3-0 record. Up there in the West Coast, Stanwood is hosting Mount Vernon at 7. Mountain View is will be at a 4A opponent, Hanford, at 7 p.m. And let's see, they're in the also in the Pierce County, Gig Harbor, having a nice season at 2-1 so far. They're at Capital tonight at 7. Peninsula, which was unranked last week before pulling a big upset on their opponent, moves them back into the top 20. Now they play Thurston at 7. Lakes in the Pierce County is hosting Stadium at 7. In the Westco, Ferndale, the only team with a losing record so far at 1-2 are hosting Arlington, which had a really great season last season, definitely a top 10 team. Arlington has not performed as much this season, but they should be a tough test for Ferndale, as Arlington is usually good. They're up in the Westco. Ferndale at 1-2. Kelso will be at Camas at 7 p.m. A battle in the southern part of the state, the Mount St. Helens. And let's see here. Marysville Pilchuck at Oak Harbor at 7. Marysville also, same thing with Arlington. Both of those squads were top 10 squads last year and have definitely performed a lot less. They must have lost some really good players to graduation or what, so they may be rebuilding. They're still top 20 squads. At least Marysville Pilchuck is. Arlington just below the top 20. And over there, and also, let's see, last one, number 20, Meade, is actually hosting the number 4 team in 4A, Gonzaga Prep, at 7 p.m. Tough test for Meade right there, and that kicks off at 7. All right, that's your halftime report. I'm Daniel Bellis here. What we're going to go ahead and do is pay some bills, and we'll be back in a few minutes here from Memorial Stadium. It's all knotted up, 14 apiece, Franklin and Lincoln at the half on Rainier Avenue Radio.
This is God is, and we're doing a lot of different things in your community. We want to make sure we get in touch with each and every person that is. And so go to our Instagram, Facebook, tweet. We doing it all in your community. Go to our website also. Look us up, RainierAvenueRadio.world. Inspirational gospel music and also God is Talk Show. Miss Dinah doing it all as we doing it right here on your favorite community radio station. So look us up. Go to our website. This is God is an inspirational gospel music.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not rehearsing my annual address to shareholders, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not meeting Mrs. Jones in that cafe for a chat and nothing else, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not busy tearing the roof off the suckers, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not shouting "Badia" at city council meetings, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not being reprimanded by traffic cops, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not cooking up a batch of my famous wood-flavored chicken, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Have you ever went over a friend's house to eat and the food just ain't no good?
Hi, I'm Paul Pearson of Star Time. Did you know that back in the 1930s, Rainier Avenue Radio operated out of a supply closet in the Columbia City Seafirst Bank? Well, times have changed and so have we. Now you can hear all the great Rainier Avenue Radio shows on our mobile app for Android and iPhone. It's completely free on the Google Play Store and the iPhone App Store. The Rainier Avenue Radio app.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
My name is Keith. I'm a barber from Tacoma, Washington. When the pandemic hit, it did affect me as a business owner. I had my own personal reasons why I didn't get vaccinated. But I was talking to a doctor, and he was telling me more about what it could do to protect us and our family. I wanted to get back to that once was, right? I do feel safe knowing that I am vaccinated. I just hope what I'm saying is reaching into people's heads to know that this is the best decision for all of us. To learn more, please visit hereforuswa.org.
Hey, Buford, why are you kicking that old CD player?
Because I can't hear the radio.
Can't hear the radio? Let me help you. Hey, you two, quit beating up that outdated audio equipment. You can't hear the radio on a CD player.
You can.
No, you can't, you adorable simpletons. But you can hear some great radio on the Rainier Avenue Radio app. It's brand new, it's free, and it's available for Android and iPhone. In fact, you can download the Rainier Avenue Radio app right now from the Google Play Store or the iPhone App Store. I'm going to go get me a smartphone right now.
I'm just going to put a graduation cap on my rotary phone.
You two have very significant personal issues. Get the Rainier Avenue Radio.world app today.
PrEP is a daily pill that can significantly reduce your chances of getting HIV, and typically it takes a trip to a physician to get it. Now you can visit select pharmacies, get tested on the spot, and walk away with your first month of PrEP. It's easier than ever to protect yourself from HIV, and with all the coverage options, you can get it at a very low cost. To find your nearest participating pharmacy, go to doh.wa.gov/PrEP now. That's doh.wa.gov/PrEP. Do it now. This is a message from the Washington State Department of Health and Public Health, Seattle and King County.
Wash your hands, don't touch your face, wipe things down, clean up your space. When you cough and sneeze, do responsibly. If you feel you're getting ill, isolate at home and chill. No, you're not alone. Please pick up your phone and call 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Community Radio Station will provide you with more information. Say Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
How would COVID vaccines work in your body? Here are 3 things to know. Number 1, a vaccine is basically a training session for the immune system. Vaccines teach the immune system to look for the key features of a virus. So when a virus does show up, it's ready to fight it off. Number 2, a vaccine gives your body a plan to recognize the virus. Then your immune system starts preparing by making antibodies, or fighter cells, that stay in your blood as protection in case the virus tries to invade. What this means is you get immunity against the disease without having to get sick first. Number 3, when enough people's bodies know how to fight off a virus, it has nowhere to go. That slows the spread. When people get a vaccine, we're able to stop the spread quicker and get closer to ending the pandemic. To learn more, go to covidvaccinewa.org. A message from the state of Washington.
Citizens of America or citizens of the world, let us begin.
Rainier Avenue Radio.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Rainier Avenue Radio.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And back in my day, when we wanted to hear the radio, we had to stick a couple of coat hangers on Grandpa's head so his cavity fillings could pick up an AM station. But it's the 21st century now, so whenever I want to hear Rainier Avenue Radio.world, I listen to it on the brand new Rainier Avenue Radio app on my Android or iPhone. Download it for free at the Google Play Store or the iPhone App Store. The Rainier Avenue Radio.world app.
What's going on, world? It's your boy OG Mambo.
And your guy D Money. Join us along with Pint Size Patron and ID Yourself.
Here on Fresh Juice at Rainier Avenue Radio.
Every Wednesday hump day from 9 to 11 Pacific.
Get exclusive interviews from your favorite artists, all the hottest music, and updates on what we got going on in the world.
That's every Wednesday, 9 to 11 p.m. on Seattle's Rainier Avenue Radio.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Check us out on social media. Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
Women are not an homogenous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Greetings. This is your host, DJ Neftali, Rainier Avenue Radio .world. The best DJ in the Seattle area. You can catch me every Monday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Like I said, this is DJ Neftali, the best reggae in Seattle, Washington, the best radio station. Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Right? We are live at Memorial Stadium. Right?
Yep. We are back. We're back.
14-14 halftime score, John. Again, the pathway to this 14-14 has been anything but the usual course of business.
Big plays. Two big plays.
Lincoln started out, almost broke the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
And Franklin scored.
Moved the ball downfield, finally took it in. Franklin came back, basically mirrored what Lincoln did, put one in, and then from there, all kind of craziness just broke out.
As they say, big plays,
And the handoff again inside, penalty flags down. I think that's the James Scott Jr.
holding, probably.
That was pick up about 2 on the play, but again, John, you called it out. That will be negated by a holding call.
Well, at least the holding occurred at the point of attack. In other words, where the play was going. You see so many times holding calls get called against players not even involved in the play, on the other side of the formation. And you say to yourself, why? What are you holding out there for? I can understand holding, and I don't accept it, but it's unacceptable. But at least you can understand it being at the point of attack. But downfield or on the other side of the formation doesn't make sense to me.
All right, John, time for an old school update. You remember Jeffrey Osborne, LTD, and holding on?
Oh, yeah, holding on, yeah.
20 yards to go for first, and that's picked up really quickly. Nice defensive play there by Lincoln. They were all over that. Loss on the play will only be about a couple yards, but
forward progress is up.
Forward progress, despite the fact that they carried them about 10 yards back.
To the 25 or 26. So it'll be second and pretty close to 20. Pretty close to 20. 21. But see, this is the thing. Lincoln cannot let up. This team, Franklin has enough players, key players, that they can break one, An 80-yard run is nothing. This is a 70-yard run, nothing, They showed it in that first half. They got guys that can strike anywhere on the field.
Five-out Bout drops back to pass. Pass is dropped.
Got to catch it.
And
Look it in your hands.
That's going to make it 3rd and 20.
Yep. Look it in your hands. Look at it once. Look at it twice.
That amazing thing about the passing game that revolutionized football, the catch.
Yes. And like I said, there are 3 things that can happen. 2 of them are bad, incomplete or intercepted. See, now they're forced to have to pass now. You shouldn't have to be dictated to that way.
Vival low snap that time. Vival drops back, looks downfield, nothing going. Vival's going to be sacked. Running away. Bo gets the pass off. Pass is complete. Oh, what a play to number 1. Vival escapes the pressure to the right side, goes back to the left side, fires a pass down the field, and they've already moved the chains, John. So that's going to be a first down completion to debut. Oh, what a play.
That was amazing. This is, see the highlights tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That was an amazing play. He was caught over on the right side, broke away, moved, and rolled out to the left side, throws the ball downfield, and it's caught for a first down.
I'll tell you what about Vival, John.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need a lot of space to uncork a throw.
Nope. He's a chunky guy. Got a lot of arm strength too.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of leg strength too. He kicked out about 2 or 3 tackles over there. So,
well, in the words of Edwin Bailey, I'd rather buy him shoes than feed him.
yeah, right. I agree. Buy him shoes, then feed him. Okay. New quarterback. We'll see what happens here. Double left. Motion across.
We got a new quarterback. Ball handed off. Keeps the ball. Number 11 around the right side. This is a gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Oh, my gosh. Unsportsmanlike it looks like it's going to be. I mean, that was kind of a funny play. The quarterback rolls out unsportsmanlike against Franklin. You got to keep your mouth shut, fellas. I mean, see, that was a positive play, and you mouth off, and you get zonked. You know, you're hurting your team. You may feel big about it, but you can't do that to your team.
That was Cash Shashir Banks, who lined up at the quarterback position.
Yep, he took the ball, and he gained yardage. Somebody mouthed off or said something. And now, look, a positive play is going to be ending up being a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, John, this is the big ticket. This is the 15.
Yeah,
so you go from second and maybe 7 or 8 to 1st and 25.
Yep, it's just hard to explain.
Now, why they're moving the chains, I don't know.
They call it dead ball. No, it wasn't a dead ball foul then. No, it's not. It stays where it was. It's 1st and 25. They made a mistake. They should not have moved the chains. Because
okay, there we go.
That's an unsportsmanlike call. It's a dead ball foul.
So we've got 1st and a country mile.
Yep.
For Franklin. Vival back at quarterback again, hands it off inside to James Scott Jr.
Oh. They're shutting that down.
And this time Lincoln has the answer.
Yep. They're getting penetration on that side.
And not Allen Iverson.
Right, exactly. Practice. Practice. Practice.
Rainier Avenue Radio's broadcast of Metro League football. It is Franklin versus Lincoln, 14-14 with 8:44 here to go in the third quarter. It's me, Tony B, on your play-by-play and on your commentary and analysis. The coach, John Yasutaki, Jay Yeezy.
Thank you. Jay Yeezy here. Now, what do? You got 3rd and 2 Tacoma to go. I mean, play it safe. Oh, man, they're loading up. They got double. Actually, they got triple right receiver.
And this time the hits the ground. The snap hits the ground, and this time Vival just dives on it.
Yes.
And that 3rd and a country mile is now turned into 4th and 2 country miles.
2 country miles, yes. Again, what was the key to that? Bad snap. Again, hey, we're beating ourselves, guys. You know, we are beating ourselves.
and you've got a Lincoln player down on the ground out there. So Franklin comes out in their first possession, John, and they'll be lucky if they get the punt back to the original line of scrimmage.
Exactly. I mean, it's self-destruction. Again, the center snap, the most essential, basic, fundamental part of football. The snap of the center to the quarterback. If that isn't good, the whole thing falls apart.
So again, the Lincoln player gets off and gets up, and walks off the field under his own power. That's always a good sign.
It looks like it's a wrist, arm, or shoulder. He's holding him, propping it up. So you hope it's not a dislocation or something like that.
And looks like he's they might be walking him over to the tent.
Yeah, he's that's not a simple one there.
So Franklin back fourth and about 500 yards to go, back in punting position. And I said it'd be lucky to get that punt back to the line of scrimmage, John, and it doesn't look like it's going to make it. And a Lincoln player dives on the ball. Franklin may have recovered. Oh, my gosh, John. All they had to do was get out of the way, let that one roll. It was rolling back towards Franklin. Instead, a Lincoln player dives on the ball, muffs it. Franklin comes back with it. And as I mentioned before, after a 7-7 start, John, all kind of crazy just broke out.
What was the Lincoln player thinking? That's a live ball. You touch it as a receiving team and you don't control it. You didn't call for a fair catch. If you touch that ball, it touches you. It's a live ball. The other team can recover it.
Well, the original line of scrimmage was at the Lincoln 48. Franklin now has the ball at their own 46, but 1st and 10. So here we go.
On that turnover.
Vival.
Full house backfield, really.
Hands the ball off inside. And there's a cutting lane, goes back across the grain, and that's a nice pickup for Cash.
But you got flags.
Shamir Banks, we've got a flag in the backfield, though. Oh, excuse me, in the defensive backfield.
You got 2 flags, one ahead of the play and one behind the play.
Uh-oh. Well, John, as clean as both of these offenses were on those opening 2 drives, it's been messy ever since.
Well, you got to play within yourself. You don't, it just.
And so they're walking whatever happened off against Franklin.
10. It's going to be holding. 10 yards. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. In this case.
And so that'll make it about 1st and
25 again. Yeah, something like that. Just like this is deja vu all over again.
Vival hands off to Cash to Banks.
He got a nice little yardage there. Got about 8 or 9 yards on there almost.
Cash to Sherry Banks now in the backfield. We'd been looking at James Scott Jr. run over people, and Cash to Sherry Banks is trying to run around him.
Yep. Showed a little bit of foot speed. That's pretty close to 8 or 9 yards on that run. Just think if you didn't have 1st and 23, you almost have a first down on 2nd down.
So again, full backfield.
Yep.
I don't even know what to call that. A wing T, a handoff to the left side. This time it's James Scott Jr. Almost about 2 yards shy of the original line of scrimmage. So that's going to make it 3rd and about 12.
Yep, 3rd and about 12. But it's a little bit more manageable because now you're near midfield. And so, again, field position. The name of the game is field position. If we give it up, that's to our disadvantage. If we take advantage of it, that's to our advantage, their disadvantage. Field position.
It's going to be 3rd and 12 here. Vival has shown that he's got a live arm.
Yes. But if he could just get the snap clean, Again, that's been their downfall. That's been their Achilles heel.
Takes the handoff, looks downfield, has a receiver, and number 3, Carmonte Shashir Banks is.
He had it. He had it in his hand and got knocked off of it.
Got knocked down.
Yep.
And separated from the ball. So that'll bring up 4th down now.
In about 12.
So the Lincoln Links defense comes back on the field and holds.
Yep, they did a good job.
And forces Franklin into punting position. And again, John, what looked like it was going to be a 49-42 ball game, we're still here at 14-14 with 5:46 to go.
Yep.
Here in the 3rd quarter. No points here in the 3rd quarter. Tied at halftime, and we are still tied right now at Leon H. Brigham Field Memorial Stadium. Franklin back in punting position from their own 44-yard line. Little pooch kick. Gets it off, and it bounces back towards the Franklin sideline. And John ends up at the original line of scrimmage, and a flag is down. And that came again from the backside. Franklin.
They call it batting? Illegal touching?
They've called something, and whatever it is against Franklin. And they'll walk that one off. So 10 additional yards.
That looked like illegal, the sign for illegal touching, right?
I did not see it. I did not see the call.
Well, the ball was batted by the Franklin defender, or the kicking team, Franklin. Batted by that Franklin player. Okay.
Lincoln will take over now at the
Shotgun.
37 of Franklin. Versailles hands the ball off onto the right side. Little bit of a hole, plugged up quickly, stays on his feet, and then a big pop delivered by number 16, Tyrone Jones, and that's followed by a bunch of flags.
Out of bounds. He hit him out of bounds.
And so a gain on the play. An unnecessary roughness called against the Franklin player, Tyrone Jones, and that's probably going to be the big ticket. And so now Lincoln with the ball on the Franklin 19-yard line, 1st and goal.
First down for the Lynx.
Again, a nice hit by Franklin over there, the running play that doesn't pick up anything for Lincoln.
Well, you get you got a yard on it.
A hard-earned yard.
Yep.
And is that number 14? It's hard for me to see.
Well, the numerals are hard to read on those dark jerseys.
Yeah. I believe that's Marshall Longton lining up at the...
Second down for the Lynx.
Number 11.
It is number 11, I think.
Yeah.
Again, and then Franklin.
Well.
And that was your number 58 again for
Yep.
Franklin, Josh Dunn.
Very good. He's a tough guy. He's a player.
And I don't have an 11 on my roster
Yeah.
for Lincoln.
Lincoln, yeah, but it is number 11 in the backfield.
Versailles with the snap, looks downfield, has a man down, he's open, he's got him, and just off his hands. Nice pass there by Versailles.
Hit him in the bad place, his hands.
And now we've got a Franklin player down, the defensive back there in the end of the end zone.
I think how he fell. He might have got the wind knocked out of him.
And the player is laying over there just on the edge of the turf.
And he's up.
All right, good to see again. And, you know, John, you don't want to see players down on the field, but it is nice when you see them walk off.
Yep. I mean,
under their own power.
You hate to see anybody get injured, you know.
Now that turns into a little jog. So you might be right. It might just have had the knocked out of him.
Well, it looked like he fell hard. He couldn't catch. He couldn't break his fall when he was rolling out of the end zone, back line.
So 4th down now, 12 yards to go from the Franklin 22-yard line, and Lincoln will again forego the field goal opportunity. We haven't seen that. I mean, they've looked decent on their kickoffs, but either way, Lincoln is going for it on 4th down, and we have a Franklin player step across the line.
Lincoln moved.
Now Lincoln moved.
Lincoln lineman moved. He was flinching.
And so that'll make it another 5 yards. Again, John, you don't want to punt right here.
No. Try to get as many yards as you can. If you have the same effect as a punt. If and if you throw the ball, you know, at least make it a good pass play.
So here we go, 4th and about 18, and then another flag in the backfield of Rainier Beach. Or excuse me, of Franklin. Rainier Beach will be coming up next, playing against Ballard. That's if we make it through this game tonight.
It's waived. It's waived off. They waived the penalty off. I think I think they were going to call it for a legal substitution, but that was waived off.
All right, here we go again. 4th down again. I think this is the fourth down.
Yep.
But here we go again. Versailles drops back, looks left, looks right, fires it to the right corner of the end zone, and it's wisely Tyrone Jones just knocks it down rather than intercept that ball. And that'll turn it back over to Franklin for a 1st down. Nice, smart play there by Tyrone Jones.
Please. Some unruly person in the crowd said this may be going to overtime. Heaven forbid.
So Franklin will take over once again.
This almost looks like almost looks like a replay again. This is I mean, haven't we seen this at least 3 or 4 times, the same iteration?
It's Groundhog's Day here at Memorial Stadium. James Scott Jr.
gains a yard.
Maybe.
Well, Lincoln's doing a good job of shutting that down. So what is Franklin going to do? Well, they're shutting off that run. We're going to go to the pass. Oh, it's a high snap or a low snap. And we're back to square one again. Yeah, literally, like you say, Groundhog Day.
And we've got another player down for Lincoln.
We got a little bit over 3 minutes left.
On the clock.
Yep, on the clock. But with the penalties and this half of the third quarter seems like a whole quarter, you know.
We are going to go to commercial break right now, and we'll be back with you when the game action begins again.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not stopping a Mercer Island street brawl, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the Cabinets from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Sergio LaCour's Love Lines.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince and Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
We are back live here at Memorial Stadium. Handoff to James Scott Jr. Oh, caught in the backfield. Excellent defensive play by the Lincoln player. I'm trying to catch that number. And that's going to be a loss of about 4, maybe even 5 to bring up third down for the Franklin Quakers. And Franklin again moving in the wrong direction, Coach.
Yep, yeah, they've solved that off-tackle play and that handoff, direct handoff. Now's the time to do some trickery, as they say. Fake a handoff, do a counter, do something. Lincoln has figured this one out. And they only have 3 on the front line.
Wyval looks to pass. Has a man open the middle. Ball is caught, then maybe dropped. Would have been enough for a first down, but yes, it was actually dropped.
Got to make the catch.
That'll bring up fourth down now and about 15 for Franklin from their own 21-yard line. And
this all looks familiar again. I mean, this looks like a replay of the last 5 minutes. Delay a game.
Wow. If you're just joining us, when the game started out, Lincoln, an explosive play on the kickoff, almost broke it. Methodically went down the field with a combination of passing and running. Here's the punt now. This one, again, is immediately grabbed by a Franklin player, and I think that time it would have probably rolled in the direction
Looks like it would have gone down field
Yeah.
a little bit more, but we've been playing in this section of the football
For a
field
long time.
for a long time, between the 30 and the 40. The 30, 40, 50, and the other 40. I mean, this is like the 20 yards or 25 yards. It's all we've been doing for the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Lincoln with the ball. Pass is complete. And the catch for a pickup of about 4 yards.
Good pass. Good quick pass. I mean, that's as good as a run. That's as good as a run. It's a safe pass. You're moving the ball. And if it's caught, the clock keeps running.
Jack Leary, 6'3", 174-pound senior for Lincoln. And Lincoln's senior class.
Right.
Finally, they made it. Freshman.
Double right, double left, single right. One back in the backfield. Handoff.
Inside the number 11. Shakes, bakes, gets a few yards, keeps his feet moving, and takes that all the way up for a first down. The pickup of almost 10 yards there for Lincoln. And Lincoln is moving the ball, J.I.
Yeah, balanced attack. Pass here, run there. Short pass, run. run, short pass.
And so they'll move the sticks, and
that's what you want.
Coach Yasutake, I'll ask again. I mentioned earlier that the lack of depth in regards to the number of players that Franklin has on the team, would that cause some attrition?
Oh, yeah.
Later on in the game.
You got a fourth quarter coming up yet to play. Yeah, it does have an effect. I mean, these are young men. They're human. Oh, nice run. Nice play.
Nice run around the left side there. Looks like a pickup.
Yep. A little short pass again. Short pass. Just as good as a run. That's about 8 yards, Tony.
Short pass, and then pick up a few more yards on the
run.
On the run.
Yeah, 8 yards.
Second down and 2 for the Lynx.
Pickup of 8. That'll make it 2nd and 2 from the 23-yard line of Franklin. Versailles hands off inside, looks over the left side, down the sideline, still on his feet, down to about the 6-yard line.
Yep. Missed tackles all along that line. Missed tackles. As they say, diving in the dirt. Didn't even wrap him up. Didn't make contact. It's 1st and goal.
Now Lincoln in the red zone.
Yeah, 1st and goal.
Takes it down to the 80-yard line. 1st and goal.
Versailles with the ball. Versailles in the shotgun, I should say, with the ball now. Looks left, completes the pass. A little slant play there, and that's going to be down to about the 2-yard line.
Yep, positive yards.
Lincoln looking like that team that started out the game now.
Yep.
Jay Easy.
Yep. They're moving the ball, short pass, run, well contained, well controlled too.
We've got a timeout. I'm going to check in with Mr. Daniel Bellis here and see if we have any news or updates.
Everybody kicking off right now. Lots of games in action in the Metro Mountain. Just kicking off. Garfield's at Bishop Blanchette. O'Day's at Seattle Prep. Eastside Catholic hosting Roosevelt. And, of course, the other one in the mountain that'll be after this contest, Ballard at number 8, Rainier Beach. In the Sound, still in progress, haven't got to receive a score from them yet, but Nathan Hale in Cleveland. Chief Self will be at West Seattle. That kicks off at 7:30. And also tomorrow in the Metro, Ingram, undefeated Ingram, will be against winless Lakeside tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Fourth quarter. This is it.
Well, John, that third quarter was like the Twilight Zone.
Yes, it was. It was, definitely. It was a forgettable quarter.
All right, Lincoln with the ball now.
Double right.
3-yard line.
Single set.
Versailles looks left, goes right, finds a receiver over there. Oh, he had him open, John, and just missed him.
I mean, there was nobody within 10 yards of him. Okay, 8 yards of him. He was so wide open. I guess he must have thought he was on the sideline or something. He was interesting, wide open. And they're coming off that double wide set. They're on that double wide right.
So again, Lincoln now 3rd and 3. Versailles in the shotgun, one back there with him.
Yep.
Been effective mixing in the passing running game. A little pass to number 11. Fakes left, goes inside, trying to push his way for the touchdown. It's a scrum. I don't think he's going to get in there. Made a nice cutback.
Yes, he did. Franklin recovered well, but he looked like he was going to get in,
Had a hole there that closed up very quickly. Mm-hmm. And then the Quakers were stout on defense. And
4th down.
Here we go again, John.
Yep.
4th down for Lincoln. No field goal team in sight.
Nope.
Versal with one back in the backfield. Snap goes handoff. Go inside. No, and Franklin hits the ball. The ball comes loose. There's a fumble. And once again, the Franklin defense has held Lincoln on fourth down.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
That was unbelievable. He had a lane, and it closed down. And I thought he was going to score. There was enough push on that line of scrimmage, but I guess those Franklin kids reacted so well. They closed it down. It was real. I thought he was going to score.
And just when it seems like one team has an advantage,
the other team comes up for it with a big play.
Yeah. We are still tied at 14 as we go into the fourth quarter. 11:04 here left to go in this game. Franklin with the ball on their own 3-yard line. And, John, you got to be concerned about the center snap here.
Oh, yes.
Handoff inside, and Lincoln rises up to the occasion. And that may result in even a loss of a yard there, John.
It looks close. I mean, they had it pushed out, and then he lost ground, or it was a push. In other words, even. There was no gain. No gain.
And
Tony.
So, Coach, what happened here? Franklin was pushing these guys all up and down the field offensively.
Yeah.
And now they're finding it difficult to get that running game going again.
Adjustments. Lincoln's making adjustments. That's the key. They're shutting down those bread and butter plays. That off-tackle stuff, they're closing it down. And like I said, adjustments.
Vive out in the shotgun. He's going to be run down. Finally gets the pass off.
He stepped out.
And they're going to say he stepped on the white line in the back of the end zone, John, and that's going to result in a safety.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Vival went back to pass. He was pressured. Got a Lincoln player down in the end zone. Ended up getting the pass away, but not before stepping
on the out of bounds.
And safety out of bounds there.
Yep.
And so 2 points for Lincoln. Lincoln now up 16-14. Wow.
And Franklin kicks off on the free kick.
With the safety,
At the very least, John, this has been an interesting game.
Yep, it has been. It looked like it's going to be, one team run the ball, pass the ball, the other team run the ball, pass the ball, and then all of a sudden everything went sideways. Special teams had a great deal to play in this. Mistakes had a great deal to, to deal with the outcome of this game. That was a mistake, a safety, stepping out of the end zone.
So Lincoln has the ball in the 3-yard line, doesn't convert on 4 downs, turns the ball over to Franklin. Franklin runs one play, doesn't gain any yardage. Vival on the second play drops back to pass, steps on the end line out of bounds, safety for Lincoln. Franklin now with the opportunity to punt the ball. And, John, I just don't know what to expect.
Nope. We don't know what to expect. But, again, what we thought was going to be a fairly clean game ended up being very sloppy, mistake-ridden. Lincoln made that major mistake trying to cover a punt, touching a ball. It got recovered by Franklin. They're lucky nothing came of it, but, mistake after mistake.
And Franklin, the big mistake, putting the ball on the ground.
Yep.
Lincoln returning it for a touchdown. Kind of a squib kick instead of a punt. Fielded at the 40 by Lincoln. Finds a lane up the middle. Still on his feet down the sideline.
No, he got caught up to 30.
All the way down to the Franklin 30-yard line. Lincoln again sets itself up
plus side of the 50.
Excellent starting field position for the offense.
Yep.
And here we go again, John.
Yep.
It looks like Lincoln now has the momentum on their side and chance to put some distance between themselves and this Franklin team.
Oh, yep. This is definitely Franklin's got to stop them if they have any chance of getting back into this game. It's only a 2-point difference, but the way things are going, that might be insurmountable.
Lincoln lines up, wide receivers spread to the right. Versailles in the backfield keeps the ball. And a nice play there for Franklin defensively.
Well, I didn't quite understand that one. Was that a quarterback keeper, or did he miss the handoff, or was
he missed the handoff to me,
and or was he going to pitch it? That's.
At any rate, Carmonte Shashir Banks said, "Whatever you're going to do, the buck stops here."
Timeout, Franklin. Well, isn't this great? This is a fall evening in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
The weather has been very mild. You got a large turnout, Lincoln High School fans. A few turnout for Franklin, but people are excited. They're enjoying themselves. I'm waiting to see if I can smell somebody popping popcorn, but I guess that's not happening.
The beautiful Seattle skyline in the background
yes.
in the dawn with the EMP there.
Yes, and the Space Needle.
And the new construction.
Yep. You see these cranes all over the place. Yes, Seattle's a beautiful, beautiful place. The EMP is glistening, that different myriad of colors.
Is it still the EMP or is it Mopop now?
I don't know.
Inside handoff, little deception there. Ball kept on the inside handoff, and Lincoln
got about a few yards on that play.
Picks up a few yards. That's going to make it third down now, and nice pickup of about 8, about 6-7 to go. Quickly, Lincoln with the ball again. Collette with the ball misses, makes one receiver miss, picks up a defender miss, picks up the first down.
So that's what happens when you dive in the dirt and you don't get in good base position. Don't break down. Don't break down and wrap the guy up. You're diving at him. He jumps right over you. And got a first down out of it.
Lincoln trying to get their offense moving quickly after that Goulet run, but a Franklin player down on the ground. And what type of effect does that have, John, when a team like Lincoln, when they're not only are they running and they're passing the ball, but then they're also getting into their offensive set pretty quickly after the last play?
Well, yeah, you're hustling on defense to get back in formation. And, hey, if you're slow in getting set up on defense, it's a great advantage to the offense. People out of position, you can take advantage of that. And that's what that's designed to do. Confuse you, make you speed up. If you don't get into position, I have an advantage on you. Because guess what? Offense always knows where the ball is going. Offense always knows where the ball is going. Defense has to figure it out and always react. And you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. The offensive team always knows where the ball is going. My job on the defense is to figure it out and react to it. And the way, offenses go, most teams run some form of spread, I've seen it all this year. Garfield, Prep, all these teams tend to run these spread formations because why? The theory is if I spread you out, there's gaps all along the line of scrimmage. And again, you react. You do the wrong. You don't react or you make the wrong move. I have an advantage.
And so that's actually Tyrone Jones limping a little bit, but gets off the field under his own power.
He's the one I think that missed that tackle. I hope he's okay. So 1st and 10 from the 19 or 18.
Again in the red zone, Lincoln with the ball. What will they do offensively this time?
Yeah. Oh.
And Franklin players jump.
Yeah. Man, you're hurting yourself. It just, nobody blame but yourself. That move on the movement of the ball.
Second down, handoff. This time Franklin is there.
Man, they crashed. They penetrated in the backfield,
Dave Pugh on the tackle for Franklin.
Yep. That's a loss. They lost a couple yards at least.
What is that, John? A seagull?
Yeah.
It is circling the field.
Or it's not a Seahawk. They ain't flying high this year.
Oh, boy. Ouch. They're 1-1.
Yeah, but, wishful thinking, Tony.
Versailles back, rolls to the right side. Uncorks the pass across the middle. That one's knocked down. Looks like it's caught. Wasn't knocked down. The receiver went up for it, went through his hands. Lincoln receiver catches the ball for a touchdown. Touchdown, Lincoln. That was Marshall Langton, the 5'10", 186-pound senior for Lincoln. And John, they do what they needed to do following the safety and getting the ball back. They've now put some distance between themselves and the Quakers. Put the Quakers in the position where this is potentially a two-score game.
It is, yep.
(22-14) now. Lincoln in front with 8:03 left. And they'll go with the left-footed kicker. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And at least from what I see, John, they maybe missed out on a couple opportunities for field goals earlier in the game. That makes it 23-14 now.
Yep. 2 scores. No. There's still plenty of time. You've got to make every down count.
And Lincoln kicking off to Franklin.
It's a good kick.
Back to the 10-yard line. Received there up at the 20 now, the 25, up to the 30. Still on his feet. Banks still on his feet to the 40. Still on his feet at the 45. And finally corralled there.
Yeah, about 43.
Cash Shashire Banks.
Yep. About the 43. That's a good return. Nearly broke it. No, 44.
And so Franklin now with pretty good field position.
Yeah, very good field
7:49 left in this game, down by 9, 23-14.
So you're saying to yourself, we got enough
First and
time.
10 for the Quakers.
No mistakes.
All right, Franklin with the ball. Vayval. And the ball's on the ground again. Looks like the Quakers recovered it as Dave Pugh jumps on the ball.
What did I say? No mistakes?
Well, that wasn't on the center that time.
Nope, it was on the exchange. Exchange between the quarterback and the up back.
Again now, John, ever since, like I said, Franklin was pushing Lincoln all up and down the field offensively. Now it looks like every series they're going backwards.
Yep. Well, again, you're not doing anything sophisticated. Okay. I always believe in the basic stuff, base plays, all that kind of stuff. Now you're going to have to open up the playbook because they're shutting down your bread and butter plays.
So Val looks downfield, rolls out to the right side, decides to keep it. Flag down in the backfield, but Val still on his feet. And Val back to the original line of scrimmage, but we're going to see what that flag is all the way back down there at about the 26-yard line.
Could be a holding. Yep, it's holding.
And it is.
Holding.
Maybe the Bible for the Quakers is called for flag on the play.
Wow. What a turn of events for the Franklin Quakers and the Franklin Quaker faithful, John.
Yep.
This score could be completely different.
Yep.
It's just not.
Mistakes. Mistake. There's no other way to put it. You're beating yourself with your mistakes, not the other team. They scored, but guess what? You've given them the opportunity. It's unfortunate because it was a pretty even game. Actually, it was 14-14 at halftime. That's as even as it can get.
And at the end of the third quarter.
Yep. And that was a really sloppy third quarter. It's regrettable. I wouldn't write home about that one. We'll destroy all the photos of that third quarter.
You're listening to Metro League football right here on Rainier Avenue Radio World. Friday night under the lights. Our first game, Lincoln versus Franklin, 23-14. Coming up next, Rainier Beach versus Ballard.
Friday night under the lights. That sounds familiar.
And the pass to Vayval to Banks is complete. Be a short pickup there.
They have a half a mile to go. What's it, 30 yards or so? Yep, 36, something like that.
Yeah.
Half a football field to go. What the heck?
Wow.
Yep.
That's not a country mile. That's a country mile.
Yeah.
Vayval back in the shotgun. One back there with him.
Yeah. Illegal procedure.
That'll move the ball back an additional 5 yards. Well, Franklin not doing themselves any favors right now, Mr. Yasutaki.
Nope, like I said, mistakes, no mistakes. And it's been one mistake after the other.
It's time to snaps. Okay, Vayval rolls out to the left side. Flag is down. Finds his receiver, Banks. Banks drops the ball. And it's just been that kind of a day for Franklin. At this point, John, is it really even worth it to move them back another 10 yards?
Well, it's going to happen. It's going to be half the distance. So that's a blessing. Half the distance, not 10. It'll be half the distance.
I think Lincoln declined the penalty. And they said, kick it. we'll take the play. And 4th and 672 yards.
Right.
Just kick it. Or do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah. It's a continent away.
Well, John, as much as these are kids and this is a learning experience and this is a lot of fun, it's not going to be a lot of fun in the film room.
Nope, and I don't want to be there at practice. Again, it is really hard when young people, but, when you beat yourself, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Bad snap. Oh, good kick.
Does get the kick away. Rolls, and finally rolls out of bounds. Still short 10 yards of the original line of scrimmage. So Lincoln will get the ball back at the 34-yard line of Franklin with 5:34 here left to go in the game.
Yep. And the percentage says the closer you get towards the goal line when you start to play, the percentage says you will likely score. And it goes when you get to the 20 inside the 20, 80% of the time you're going to score, something like that. So if you're at the 30, I think it's around 60% of the time you'll score. So it's an inevitability, as they say, either a field goal or a touchdown.
Versaw back in the shotgun. Handoff. Again, a pickup of about 2 yards over the right side.
Again, it's positive yardage. We're moving the ball.
Maybe that'll be a yard. But like you said, positive yardage.
And it's eating up the clock. So with the time left, it'll be awfully tough for Franklin to score 2 times. It's not impossible, but it's highly improbable. They got they're in a spread formation, double wide on the left, single right, one back.
Versaw with the handoff again inside. He's got a lane. He's got one man to beat. And all the way down now to the 19-yard line of Franklin. Lincoln inside the red zone again.
Ball carrier for the Lynx.
Connor Goulet having a nice game, picking up tough yards inside.
Right.
Not really broken anything big, but 3 yards here, 4 yards here, then 8 yards. Snap is kind of low. Then big number 52 for Franklin all over that play. And a couple of flags down again, Mr. Yasutake. One on the Lincoln sideline and one over there where the action was taking place in the middle of the field.
Was it holding or face mask? One of the two. Or blocking in the back. Yeah, face mask. Personal foul chop block on offsetting penalties. Offsetting penalties. So we'll do this all over again.
Okay, that just didn't happen.
Nope.
The clock, however,
is running.
There's 4:10 left. Stopped for the penalties, but 4 minutes, and it will continue to run again. 4:08, 4:05.
Double.
Lincoln with
left.
the ball. Under 4 minutes to go in the game. Now Lincoln in no hurry at all.
Double left, single right, one back in the backfield.
Versaw with it, hands up again inside. Not a lot of trickeration there.
No, and it almost looks like he threw the ball to the running back. Here, take it, run in there. You know, it wasn't a handoff. It wasn't a clean handoff.
So 3:33 now left on the game clock, and Lincoln nursing a 9-point lead, 23-14. We were all tied up at 14 at the end of the third quarter.
Yep.
Lincoln did not convert down at the 1-yard line of Franklin. Franklin got the ball back, ended up Vival stepped on the end line, got a safety. Franklin had to punt, and then Lincoln took it in for a touchdown, which gives us to where we are right now. Versal with one back in the backfield, hands it off, cuts inside over that right tackle.
They stopped it pretty good. He gained about 3. But the clock is running, and you got control of the ball. You got control of the game. What else do you need,
So, again, Franklin making good plays, but for a play here and there, John.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
Too little, too late. But it's the mistakes.
Lincoln made the plays when they had to.
And Franklin made the mistakes when they shouldn't have. And unfortunately, and I'm trying to be hypercritical, but you can't expect to come back, let alone win, if you make mistakes to the extent that you're making these mistakes. Unsportsmanlike conduct, mouthing off, that kind of stuff. I mean, that just doesn't comport with a winning profile.
We got a little break in the action here. I'm going to go to Mr. Daniel Bellis and see if we can get an update in.
Yeah, quite a lot going on, and interesting development over at Blanchette. Blanchette drawing first blood against top-ranked Garfield, getting 6-0 early on in that contest, first quarter. Other side, Eastside Catholic doing what they need to do against Roosevelt. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. It's 14-0 against Roosevelt. Eastside leading that one. Also in action, the top 2 scoring teams so far this season, Yelm and Monroe, are doing what they've been doing to everybody else. Yelm leads in the first quarter 14-0 against River Ridge, and Monroe already up 28-6 against Linwood. That one actually still in the first quarter.
All right. Well, a lot of action going on tonight in football all across the state. I want to remind everybody that every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, you can tune in for WIAA Primetime. Executive Director of the WIAA, Mick Hoffman, and our own very own Juan Cotto chop it up for an hour about everything that's taking place sports and athletic-wise in the state of Washington. 3 o'clock right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Handoff to the outside, bottled up, manages to stay in bounds and doesn't get out of bounds, so the clock will keep running, John. And maybe a loss of a couple yards there, but more importantly, 2:08 left here to go in the game, and Franklin needs 2 scores. That'll make it 4th down, about 9.
It was about a minute and 50 seconds to go. Under 2 minutes. Time is on my side if I'm Lincoln. Even if they give the ball up. Timeout Lincoln, Tony.
All right. Well, let's check back in with Mr. Bellis. And was that everything, Mr. Bellis, that you had to give us?
Oh, of course not. Let's see. On the east side of the state, Kennewick facing a 4A opponent, Kamiakin. They're down by 6-0 early in the 4th.
Kennewick went to the championship last year.
They did. They're ranked number 6 currently in 3A. So right now they're playing a 4A opponent and trailing by just a touchdown early in the. Also, at the end of the first, up there in the West Coast, Stanwood leading by a touchdown over Mount Vernon, 7-0 there.
All right, back here to live action at Memorial Stadium. The Lincoln faithful right now in a pretty good mood, John. I think they feel as though they've got this one salted away.
If they don't have this one salted away, you can call me Little Abner. Or Big Abner or whatever. Or Abner Doubleday, whatever.
So they're actually going to kick a field goal this time. So that's going to be 25, about 35 yards on the field goal attempt from the left-footed kicker. We'll see how this turns out. There's a snap. They get it down. The kick is up. The kick looks good. The kick looks off to the right side. Had the distance. Had the distance, John, but off to the right side. And, of course, there is a flag on the play.
They're going to get to kick it again.
End result.
A major penalty against Franklin.
Of that penalty, John, is the first down.
Yep. First and goal.
For Lincoln, first and goal from the 10-yard line.
Yep. Had to be a major penalty. Personal foul, which is bonehead, which is, again, losing football. There's nothing positive about that.
Coach Yasutaki, you're pretty harsh today.
Well, that's not part of the game.
Lincoln with the ball.
Yep.
Down to the 5-yard line. Inside the 5. I believe, JY, this is what they call garbage time. You just hope nobody gets hurt. Some players get to play who probably don't ordinarily get to play.
Yeah, but again, you got yourself in this predicament if you're Franklin. Again, unsportsmanlike, untimely penalties, mistakes. Just
low snap handoff inside,
man.
and Franklin.
That was shut down.
All over that one.
That was pride there. That was Franklin pride saying, "We're not going to let you score on us."
Loss of about 5 on the play. 28 seconds to go in the game. 25 seconds. Let me take a look at it. Oh, they're pretty close. Yeah, they don't have to run another play. So we'll just wait for the clock to expire, as they are pretty close. 1, and that's it, John. That's the ball game. Lincoln comes out on top, 23-14. The Lincoln Lynx over the Franklin Quakers, and pretty good game of football in the first quarter. All kind of crazy in between. And Lincoln comes out on top. Mr. Yasutaki, anything you want to say before we sign off here?
Oh, it's well, I'll say this. The game was dead even after 3 quarters. And then it slipped away. Again, mistakes, poor play. These are the kinds of things that'll kill you as a team. And that's what happened.
We'll be back for Ballard and Rainier Beach, the second half of our doubleheader here at Leon H. Brigham Field Memorial Stadium, Friday night under the lights with Rainier Avenue Radio. It'll be me, Tony B, and Yasutaki the Younger with your play-by-play. Excuse me, with your color commentary. We'll be back.